Our first award for this year is Individual of the Year, and this is a remarkable achievement that we're celebrating here with this award. As Brian mentioned to me earlier, this is probably the first time we've ever given an award to somebody for closing a museum down. You will guess from that our Individual of the Year this year is Roger Farmer, who was the curator of Fenland and West Norfolk Aviation Museum. Now, when Roger joined that museum back in 2020, he was told almost immediately that its existing peppercorn lease was going to expire in December this year. Although the museum made efforts to buy the site from their existing landlord, they were in vain. Not their fault, they raised the money to do so, but the site changed hands and the lease was not renewed. And in March 2022, Fenland and West Norfolk made the very difficult decision to close its museum and disperse its collection. And for that to be possible, Roger, as the curator, first had to photograph and catalogue all 2,670 exhibits and items in the collection, and at the same time search for a new home or homes for them. That led him to the City of Norwich Aviation Museum, which was willing to take about 85% of the indoor collection, and aided by a substantial transfer of funds from the money that they'd raised against possibly buying the site, City of Norwich were able to get more ambitious with an already planned development for a new hangar, and that new building was completed in May 2023, and the objects were transferred into the collection at City of Norwich, and then Roger has been working remotely since then to incorporate his catalogue into the modes database at the City of Norwich. In the meantime, Roger was also able to find homes for a further 400 items at 39 other national and local museums across the UK, where they would be the most relevant, and disposed of a substantial number of non-aviation items at auction. As a result, the Fenland collection has been safeguarded for the future, and more of it is on public display than was possible at the original Wisbech site. And although Roger was the figurehead of this operation, he's been at pains to point out that it was a team effort which couldn't have succeeded without the fundraising which Fenland Chairman Chris Herring undertook, the vision of City of Norwich's Chairman Tom Amos, and the diplomatic and logistical skills of the Fenland Secretary Steve Leake, and the hard work of the display team of Ian Gilbert, Nigel Claxton and Martin Block. Nevertheless, AHUK's exec considers that Roger's pivotal role in what has been an exemplary winding up of a hitherto successful museum, which through no fault of its own faced the loss of its premises, and the successful relocation and safeguarding of its exhibits, has more than justified his selection as AHUK's Individual of the Year. Roger.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much indeed.
What an achievement. If anybody needs the museum closing, just let me know. Thank you very much indeed. Very good.
Yeah. The winner of the Group of the Year is the Blackbush Heritage Trust. In a very short time, the Blackbush Heritage Trust has successfully raised funds, including substantial sponsorship from British Airways, arranged transportation and all the needed documentation to acquire and transport the Vickers Viking G AGRW. If you don't know what, don't recognise those initials, you'll see them on the backs of T-shirts in this room. The aeroplane's called Vagabond, and it had to be rescued from Bad Voslau in Austria and brought back to Blackbush Airfield. It's not only saved an airframe that's significant to the UK's aviation history from its role as part of the rebuilding of civil aviation after World War II, but that aeroplane was in imminent danger of scrapping, and it will also serve as a focal point for a future heritage centre at Blackbush Airport. The Vagabond had been one of, you may have seen the stories in Aeroplane and elsewhere, Vagabond had been one of 3 Vikings retired out of airline service into restaurant service in the Netherlands in the 1960s before being moved to Austria and finishing its working life as a children's party venue near Vienna Airport, in the process losing all vestiges of its original interior and cockpit fittings. It had lain derelict at Bad Voslau since 2011 until the Trust arranged for its rescue in 2022. The aircraft is now safely installed with its fuselage undercover at Blackbush, and restoration to its late 1940s condition is well underway. The AHUK committee is impressed by how much has been achieved by the Trust in so little time since its formation, how it's managing to make the most of both online and in-person fundraising. They've been very prominent out and about, along with important partnerships and a well-managed social media presence, which makes everybody aware of what they're doing in pursuing this ambitious goal. And we're very pleased to declare that the Blackbush Heritage Trust is our Group of the Year. So can we have the delegation from Blackbush come forward, please?
Thank you very much. If I could just say thank you on behalf of Blackbush Heritage Trust, we really appreciate you inviting us here and awarding us with this. You probably know Barry Love, your new secretary. He was very influential in this happening, so that's obviously the key to getting them on board, isn't it? But no, we're also a registered charity, so if you need any help with that at all, we can help you. But no, we're completely new to it. You probably think we're crazy. We spent over £30,000 going out to Austria and dragging back a piece of rubbish. But this piece of rubbish has got such a story behind it. It was the first Viking to land at Blackbush, and it's now the last Viking at Blackbush. So there's history to tell, and that's what we do. Well done. Thank you very much.
And now we come to the Robert Fleming Memorial Award for Innovation. Very special award in memory of a very, very special person who was the driving force behind AHUK for a good number of years, and of course famous for leading the project to bring the Vulcan back to the sky. We miss Robert enormously, but this trophy is a wonderful way of keeping his memory alive. And this year's winner of the Robert Fleming Memorial Award for Innovation is the Whirlwind Fighter Project. This project was the dream of a small team of enthusiasts led back in the early days by the late Stuart Hawkins over 10 years ago to build an accurate full-size replica of the Westland Whirlwind Fighter of World War II. There being no survivors of what was a small production number anyway, just 114 aeroplanes. The most significant challenge facing this project was the fact that there's almost nothing left of the documentation that would tell you how to build a Westland Whirlwind. Not only there are no physical remains, but the documentation isn't there as well. I think there were just 13 production drawings found and 3 wind tunnel models remaining. Since then, there was the wreckage of a Whirlwind which had crashed near Stirling, Scotland in 1940, Subsequently, other resources such as parts, repair manuals, period photographs, subcontractor drawings and other things have come to light, along with a single sheet of paper giving the precise dimensions for a wooden wind tunnel model of the aircraft. And from such limited resources, and a sister, I think we had a restoration loan from Aviation UK towards this project. Project under its chief engineer Peter Smith has produced a highly detailed computer-aided design model, a CAD model of the complete aircraft, enabling construction to proceed. And so far the team has built the cockpit section, complete with 4 20mm Hispano cannon, and that's now on display at the Kent Battle of Britain Museum in Hawkinge, and work's now concentrating on the rest of the fuselage, with the hope that the fuselage will be complete by the end of 2024. Now, this is an example of reverse engineering at its most ambitious, for a small organisation of limited resources to embark on such a challenge. You've all seen how difficult it is, even when you've got reference materials around, how much work BDAC undertaken to build the front end of a Lancaster, having access to the drawings and a reference aircraft to look after. Imagine starting out with none of that. Using the latest in computer techniques to bring back to life an aircraft type which nobody has seen since the last of the whirlwinds was scrapped more than 75 years ago. We consider that this really innovative use by a small dedicated team of modern technology to recreate from scratch a long extinct aircraft is a more than worthy winner of the Robert Fleming Memorial Award for 2023. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
Thank you.
You don't get to keep the trophy,
Oh.
but you do get
Oh, fine, thank you very much. That's there is a display case at Hawkinge with all parts of whirlwinds in it, and that will sit in there, possibly with that as well. So we'll keep the fad flying. We had a few photographs from our engineer this morning, who's trying to deal with the rear fuselage now, and he's found then that one of the frames doesn't quite fit. So looks like he's going to have to start that one again. But anyways, I'd like to thank everybody here. We are both wood and the whole team, because it's been great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I think we owe an eternal debt to Brian, who was instrumental in getting the contacts to produce the trophy, which I think you'll agree is an amazing tribute to Robert Fleming.
The first recipient of a Lifetime Achievement Award for this year is Tony Amos. Tony was a trained toolmaker. He started work at British Aerospace Weybridge in the early 1980s, and when that factory's closure was announced in 1986, he went to Kingston-on-Thames with BAE, helped build some of the last Harriers produced there before it too closed in 1992. He started volunteering at Brooklands Museum in 1989 and has been a dedicated and popular member of its many project teams for over 30 years, particularly with his engineering, forklifting and crane operating skills. He's been involved in numerous other Brooklands events and activities. He's one of the longest serving members of Brooklands Museum's volunteer team of some 700 people. And it's an enormous pleasure. Tony, please come and collect your Lifetime Achievement Award.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Very good. Well deserved, Michael. Come over here.
Pure hard work.
There you go. That's yours.
Lovely, isn't it?
It is.
Can can you show it to the photographer? He'd like to see it.
We were pretty well retired.
No excuses.
No, lovely. Thank you.
Just one picture. Would you turn it round so they can see it?
One for the tabloids.
There you go. Yes, of course, yes, by all means. Yeah.
Next on our list is Philip Birtles. Philip's been a stalwart member of the de Havilland Aircraft Museum for nearly half a century, served for 40 years as a trustee, 20 of those as chairman, and is now the president of the museum. Not only has he played a significant role in developing and safeguarding the museum's collection for future generations, but he's also authored at least 37, I think at the last count, books, going up a bit from that, is it, Phil? Yeah. On aviation topics, and many of them, of course, on de Havilland and its products. Phil's contribution to the British aircraft preservation movement has perhaps not been sung as much as it should be, as is his career-long personal connections to the de Havilland Aircraft Company, which he joined as an engineering apprentice back in 1957, and its successor organisations. And Phil, please come forward and commit our token of appreciation for the work that you have done.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
This is for you.
Wow. Where's the photographer?
Here he
Oh,
is.
yes. Make sure I can see you when
It's the right angle.
Here we go. Yes.
Right down.
Just getting a picture taken from over the back.
Okay,
That's all
I'm
right.
sorry.
That's all right. I couldn't have done this without the help of hundreds of volunteers. With the support of my two daughters, my late wife, and Carol, who's here. Thank you very much, everybody.
Now, can you keep a secret?
No.
Because the next recipient of a Lifetime Achievement Award doesn't know that he is the recipient of the Lifetime Achievement Award, and for reasons of health he wasn't able to be here today, and so his team are hoping to be able to spring it on him sometime in the next couple of weeks. But I'm very pleased to say that Peter Brown of the Blackbush Heritage Trust is to receive a Lifetime Achievement Award. Peter's been involved at Blackbush since the 1950s. He's 77 now, but remembers visiting the airfield from the age of 5. As a teenager, he spent weekends washing club aircraft in exchange for flying lessons. In the 1960s, worked for the famous Don Bennett as his operations manager at the airport. He's organised voluntarily numerous events over the years at Blackbush, including its 50th, 75th and 80th anniversaries. He independently runs the Blackbush Pro Boards Forum, sharing Blackbush photos and creating awareness of the history and future of the airport. His latest role is as chairman of the Blackbush Heritage Trust, which, as you've just heard, recently raised the funds to bring Vagabond back from Austria. And so we will be making sure that he gets that recognition very quickly after this meeting. But in the meantime, in his absence, can we all please... Unfortunately, we've got another absentee from our Lifetime Achievement Collection in Colin Cruddas. A proud Yorkshireman, Colin began his career as an aircraft engineer with Fairey at Hayes before moving to Blackburn Aircraft at Brough, as a senior systems engineer on the Buccaneer flight test program, then went to BAC at Filton before working for both Boeing and McDonnell Douglas in the USA, then in South Africa. Finally, he joined Flight Refuelling Limited, Cobham, in Dorset, later becoming the company's archivist. Best known for his work on his various works on Sir Alan Cobham. He's written 15 aviation books, including his own autobiography. Colin's, now 90, recently moved into a care home near the former Woodley Aerodrome and is already joking about featuring it as an exhibit in the nearby Museum of Berkshire Aviation. And we will be making a pilgrimage to Colin to present him with his award. But again, we have some. Unfortunately, ill health stopped at the last minute our next recipient from being here, but we do have somebody who will collect his certificate on his behalf. That is Group Captain John, known to everybody as Jock Heron, OBE. Jock Heron spent his whole working life dedicated to aeronautical interests as a pilot, and following his retirement as a speaker and lecturer on his life experiences. Covering his time in his own book, From Schoolboy to Station Commander, which was published by the Rolls-Royce Heritage Trust. Jock's working life included piloting Hawker Hunters, English Electric Lightnings, BAE Harriers, included secondments to the USAF and the Armée de l'Air. On leaving the RAF, he joined Rolls-Royce, very quickly became involved in the Bristol branch of the Rolls-Royce Heritage Trust, where he became the chairman for over 20 productive years. In addition to his speaking engagements, he is the vice president of the Bristol branch of the RIHT, has been involved with Aerospace Bristol Museum as well, and is currently chairman of the Royal Air Force Historical Society. And Neil, the Heritage Manor of Rolls-Royce Trust, would you come forward and accept the certificate on behalf of Jock?
Thank you.
You pass on our congratulations.
I will. I will very, very much so. And I'm here to represent Jock. He did want to be here today, but he's got a little bit of ill health at the moment. He's been very instrumental in the Rolls-Royce Heritage Trust in Bristol, and we will formally hand this over at some point, Alan, when we can. And Jock's feeling up to it, probably in Bristol. So thank you very much on behalf of Jock.
Thank you.
Is Alan Norris. Alan joined the Embryo Helicopter Museum at Weston-super-Mare in the 1970s, even before it was a registered charity, and has worked on many of its first helicopter exhibits. He's since spent time variously as the museum's restoration manager, membership secretary, webmaster, and in many more roles, until more recently handing over to others. He remains a trustee of the museum and just occasionally gets involved in negotiating for museum exhibits and doing other things. And Alan, very many congratulations. Thank you for all the service that you have done to the Helicopter Museum.
Take it forward. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And the next one, by now, needs no introduction to you because he's already appeared twice in front of you today. It's Squadron Leader John Sharp. John has been a director and trustee of the Boscombe Down Aviation Collection since its foundation in 2007, currently project director. From humble beginnings, I think in an old aircraft, hardened aircraft shelter at Boscombe, to the operation today at Old Sarum. John's guidance, enthusiasm and leadership have enabled the Boscombe Down Aviation Collection to evolve into a unique organisation where visitors can first-hand immerse themselves in all things aviation, and it's inspiring and educating all who visit. You'll have seen that today walking around the collection. And the nomination says John's knowledge, contacts and his never-ending energy have enabled many artefacts and aircraft to be preserved which otherwise would have been lost to the heritage movement. His visionary approach to the museum experience is more than ever needed and now plays a vital role in today's society and in the local community. John Sharp, please come and be recognised.
Congratulations.
Thanks very much indeed.
Very well.
Thank you.
Tip forward a bit, Faith. We're getting the roof lights, that's all. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thanks for everything today.
Our pleasure. Delighted of
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And last but not least today, our final recipient today is Rod Simpson. Rod's been an active member of Air Britain for over 50 years. In that time he's been variously a trustee, director of the organisation, chair, member of the publications committee, editor of Aviation World, Air Britain's quarterly magazine. In addition to his activities within Air Britain, he's a prolific and well-respected author. His main interest has been and continues to be general aviation. He was the author of all 4 editions of the General Aviation Handbook, published variously by Air Life, Midland Publishing and now with Air Britain. He's also been the author or editor of several books on aeronautical historical subjects. Those subjects have included Percival and Hunting Aircraft, Osters, and in conjunction with Double Rebel, B condition registrations. Rod Simpson, congratulations. One of our lifetime achievers, Andy Landon. Apologies, Andy. My script tripped up there. A dedicated and talented volunteer, we have to say, supporter and sponsor of Brooklands Museum from the late 1980s. Andy has made an invaluable major contribution to the development, growth and success of Brooklands Museum for more than 35 years. And often using the resources of the National Rescue Group, formed and run with his brother Jeff, especially with its mobile cranes, Millie and the Brooklands Bell, and other recovery vehicles to move aircraft. And they moved all sorts of aircraft. You know, the guys at Blackbush just moved a Viking. Andy was moving Vikings nearly 30 years ago. And I have to say, in conjunction with another of our Lifetime Achievement awardees, Tony Amos, they've been an almost inseparable pair over that time. Andy's own skills with computers, IT, radio communications, videos, and aerial drones with cameras. If any of you have ever had a bit of an interest in motor racing, go onto YouTube and find Andy's lap of the Brooklands track, as it now is, by drone. Is well worth seeing. All of these things he has done, and with his extensive contracts in the motor trade and the recovery industry, have all benefited the museum. He's still regularly supporting Brooklands activities and events to today, and is one of the museum's longest serving volunteers. And with apologies for getting you out of sequence, Andy, please come and collect our recognition of the work that you have done over those years.
Very well earned, I would like to hold it up. Looks like you're pretty popular.
We need a spray.
I just want to say something. I expected it to go wrong because I haven't organised it. But I have to thank especially Gillian Temple because all of the aircraft I've recovered into Brooklands we've done because Julian's asked us to do it, and he's always laid on the weather and it's always been crap. So. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Now, there's nothing that can knock me down. I'm gonna take whatever comes around. Take every frown and turn it upside down with a smile. Today, no matter what comes my way, turn it into something I can celebrate. I'm gonna give the world a shake with a smile. And now, there's nothing that can knock me down. I'm gonna take whatever comes around. Take every frown and turn it